What's up, guys? My name's Doofus, and here's a ton of tips to improve your interface and just overall playing experience at Legion TD2. First things first, damage tracker waveguide. These are super useful when you first start playing the game. Just the bottom right part of your screen, you're going to click on waveguide. You can drag them around. I normally put them over here, right? The power score will be right there. And then you can hit the damage tracker too. And there's a couple of cool things with the damage tracker that I actually didn't know until recently. Shows damage dealt, shows damage taken, and it will even, if you send a brute, let's say, it will show the amount of damage that your brute is doing. But that's not all. If you go over to this damage dealt, and you click that gold or yellow arrow, it will show how much is ability damage and how much is attack damage. So for certain units that have abilities, like a Zeus, a Priestess of the Abyss, there's many units, probably half the units in the game have an ability. You can see how much damage is ability, how much damage is just the basic attack. So that's really cool. Other easy interface things are going to be if you hit Control Shift and you hold it down. Control Shift and you hold it down. You can move anything anywhere. Like literally anywhere onto this screen. I don't want to mess with things too much because it'll mess it up for me. But you could literally move that. All right, if I do it the right way, there it is. I can literally drag the scoreboard anywhere I want on the board. Anywhere I want if I do Control Shift. And then I changed my mind. I actually like it right where it is. So I'm going to put it right back up there. Hopefully my OCD doesn't mess up. You can move those things anywhere. Super, super useful. Then I'm going to go to the settings, because there's quite a few things that I like to do in the settings. One of them is this. This is max zoom. I believe the game gives you this. If you've just gotten the game, maybe on Epic Games, and you were able to zoom out this far, and you wanted to be able to see both sides, but like that screen's sort of cut off, and then, well, then you're going to have to move these over. Well, I've got a solution for you. There's something called max zoom. So if we go escape, settings, or options, I mean, same thing. Okay, and then we go to interface, and we scroll down to max zoom. I believe it starts on 3. You're going to drag that max zoom all the way to 6, and now you'll be able to zoom out as far as possible. Other really cool things that we can look at while we're here. Enable build grid position text. I personally don't use these numbers, but if I scroll back down,
lock and load.
See that number right there, 1.060. I also believe it's what causes this cool little grid thing to show up, but I've always had it turned on. So if you want to turn that on, super, super cool. Once again, options, interface, enable build grid position text on. Very, very, very lovely. Another one, unit tooltip style. Always show unit stats. This one I'm going to turn off just so you can see how much you're missing out on. So if I hover over this, it shows it's magic arcane. I don't get to see the upgrade. I have to hold down control to see the additional stats.
Target acquired.
Yeah, I don't really like that. So in order to not have to hold down control, you go to options, you go to interface, unit tooltip style, always show unit stats. Super, super convenient. And this one, maybe not as useful, but this is called the HUD. I actually don't know what it stands for. But if you do Control H, and I'll show you exactly where it is in that options interface thing again, because it could be different for your computer. It's possible. But for me, it is Control H. If I do that, don't have to hold it down, just Control H. I can now sort of look at the game in a cinematic style mode. And you can even look at it while it's while the wave is starting. Look at how cool this is. Right? Like, how cool does that look? You could make a really cool video like that. You know? I think it's pretty sweet. And then, once you're done, Control H, and you're back to normal. No big deal. Easy peasy. Lovely thing to do. A lot of other people talk about tab. Shows your board. If you have teammates, it will show their board as well. And then space will show the enemy's board. And both of the enemy boards. That's going to be tab space. And this is a really, really useful thing. Because once you get good at the game, you probably do that. You probably do it 50 times a game. I'm not kidding. You probably are going to hit tab space 50 times a game. Boop, boop. Boop, boop. Really, really cool thing to do. I think those are most of the interface tips that are going to improve your experience. If you guys have more down below that you think I should have included, please let me know. Hopefully these are useful. These are just little tips and tricks that I know. That for me, I don't think I could play without max zoom. I always love having my wave guide, more so than anything, my damage dealt. And also a lot of the time I'll move the map around, right? That's the map right there, so that I can fit perfectly my webcam. So I hope these things are useful for you guys, and I hope you're enjoying Legion TD2, and please keep watching and playing.